All right, day 3 of week 14. Focus on UI, more advanced UI concepts. Create a loading animation for a data heavy page. And this one could be fairly straightforward, though it could go in a fair amount of depth if you want to learn a bit. And one of the things I suggested in working with something like this is to actually talk to someone. So think about the data that you're potentially loading. So if it's something that's supporting work you're doing now, or if it's supporting an organization you like to work for, or maybe it's just an area you're interested in. So this could be a mapping solution, is a slightly different version of a data heavy page. It could be something where there's a lot of processing necessary on the back end. It could be that you're searching through a lot of things that suddenly produces a lot of data, a smaller, large amount of data from a very, very large data set, but something where time starts to be consumed because you requested something. And think through what it may mean for that data to load and how a system may communicate to the user what's happening in a meaningful way. Sometimes it's just this is going to take a long time to load, and we're not exactly sure how long. But sometimes there are opportunities to communicate that there are processes occurring on the back end. And there may be security issues with doing so. So this is an opportunity if you know someone who deals with how data is conveyed from some back end somewhere to a terminal or sort of a front end of a website or an app. Talk to them about what you could communicate and what you couldn't, and what sort of restrictions there may be in a high or low security environment, so on and so forth, and learn more about what the limitations are. And it's just one of those powerful things when you work with teams, when you start to solve these problems that you learn by working with your technical teams and your product folks, that it helps you better understand some of the limitations and why we don't do necessarily as much as we could when we're communicating these, but where there are opportunities to do so. But create that loading animation for a part of your app that needs to go fetch or process data. And this could be an upload, progress, chart generation, dynamic feed load, and choose a concept you want to use. It could be just something that says there's loading in progress. Animate that in Figma or some other tool that's similar. And as a bonus here, it says show fallback state. So if what you anticipated and what your system is anticipating, it doesn't succeed in that, how can you communicate to your user that either they need to initiate this request again, or that you just need more time? But the goal here is to make the wait time feel intentional and reduce user anxiety or stress. Communicate to them that you know that they're waiting, and help set their expectations as to when this thing will arrive. And I've seen applications sometimes take 12 hours to return information because the request was so heavy, and sometimes it would take 15 seconds in the same app. Um, and there's a challenge in communicating that sort of dynamic range of time. So good luck with this one. Try your best. This could be a 5-minute exercise, but if you really got into it, could be a very powerful hour-long exercise to dive in and talk with folks and learn more about how loading time works. So wish you the best on it and look forward to see your solutions.